Scotland is a land rich in lore, scenery, and culture. Although Scotland's attractions are spread throughout the country, its population is concentrated in two cities, Edinburgh, the capital, and Glasgow to its west. Edinburgh was originally built atop a volcano as a means of fortifying the city. Our first stop was in North Yorkshire, a place called Jervaulx Abbey. Jervaulx Abbey is one of the largest privately owned Cistercian abbeys in England. After the dissolution of all the monasteries, it fell into private hands. This campsite is very clean and offers all amenities, including a quaint tea room, which is ideal for those camping in tents, caravans, and also motorhomes. We found an ideal spot for an overnight park for free in Tarbert, near the pier. There are many places to park for free, and the scenery is abundant in natural beauty. We took the morning Calmac ferry from Thealowen to the Isle of Gigha. There are 34 vessels in their current service, with 10 major units. Ships of 80 metre or 262 feet or more in length. The largest is the MV Loch Seaforth at 116 metres or 381 feet in length. Gigha Island, the name Gigha means God's Island in Gaelic. It is a serene and temperate place scattered with the dunes or forts and standing stones of prehistoric peoples. There is a tiny ruined chapel dedicated to Saint Catan. A little to the south of the hamlet of Ardmenish is Arkmore House Estates, belonging to the National Trust for Scotland, whose 50 acres of gardens are a glory of magnolias, fuchsias, camellias, azaleas, and other flowering trees and plants. Gigha has a population of 163 people. The highest elevation is called Craigban, which is 100 metres in height, or 330 feet. The area of the island is 3,450 acres in width. We're now headed to Campbellton. It lies by the Campbellton Loch on the Kintyre Peninsula. It was originally known as Kinloch Curran. In Gaelic, it means head of the loch by Kirk of Cisteran. It was renamed in the 17th century as Campbell's Town after Archibald Campbell, who was the Earl of Argyll, who was granted this site in 1667. Campbellton became a very important centre for Scotch whisky and is a very busy fishing port. At the southern end of Kintyre, close to the village of Southend, there are a series of unusual visitors' attractions. Closely grouped together, just to the west of St. Columba's Chapel is a rocky outcrop on which you will find St. Columba's footprints, while nearby is St. Columba's Well. 200 yards to the west are the Kyle Caves. The story goes that Saint Columba and his 12 followers briefly landed in this part of Kintyre in early 563 AD. at the start of his exile from Ireland. The best guess about the real story of the footprints is that a single footprint dating back to the Dalriadan era became associated over the centuries with St. Columba, and is why St. Columba's Chapel was established immediately to the east. Kyle Caves excavations suggest that there have been human occupations at many different periods in time, ranging from the prehistoric residents who were neat enough to bury the shells from the shellfish they ate into a large pit, right into the age of Dalriada era.
This one's got a little go on a dead boy. But there's a sword. There's a sword. They've all got swords.
Yes. The Caledonian MacBrayne, generally known as CalMac, operates all main services on the Firth of Clyde and to the Inner and the Outer Hebrides, sailing to over 20 destinations. The mainland ports which serve the island in the west include Oban, Kennecraig in Argyll, Mallaig and Ullapool in the Highlands. The Caledonian MacBrayne has a long history stretching back to more than 160 years. Its name is synonymous with the west coast of Scotland, providing vital lifeline ferry services and carrying millions of people each year to and from the islands and remote peninsular communities. It has been and remains a major local employer, both onshore and at sea. In terms of routes and vessels, CalMac is the UK's largest ferry operator. CalMac runs 33 vessels to over 50 ports and harbours across 200 miles of Scotland's west coast, operating to 27 ports and have delegated authorities at 17 statutory harbours on behalf of the owner Caledonian Maritime Assets Limited. The emblems found on the funnels are now painted red with a black top and a yellow circle at the sides of the funnels featuring a red Caledonian lion. This is the emblem for the CalMac ferries, which can be easily spotted. Tarbert. In this busy, bustling port and resort, the mast of fishing boats, yachts jostling against the background of cafes, and in the summer, the occasional harbourside fairground. Once Tarbert was the chief port of Loch Fyne herring industry. Though this has declined, the fish quay is still busy every morning as the boats come in to unload their catches of prawns and clams and fish. The village takes fish very seriously and holds a seafood festival that presents the harvest of all of the West Coast fishing grounds, cooked, smoked, or preserved in dozens of delicious ways.
I love all these old.
Portavadie is a village on the shores of Loch Fyne on the west coast of the Cowal Peninsula in Argyll and Bute in the Scottish Highlands. The Portavadie complex was built by then the Scottish Office for the purpose of constructing concrete platforms for the extraction of oil from the North Sea. Our last 2 nights we plan to spend in Wemyss Bay, which is a village on the coast of the Firth of Clyde in the Inverclyde in the west central lowlands of Scotland. Wemyss Bay is the port for the ferries on the sea road to Rothesay on the Isle of Bute. Passengers from this island can connect to Glasgow by train, which terminates in the village at a remarkable Wemyss Bay railway station, noted for its architectural qualities and regarded as one of Scotland's finest railway buildings. The port is very exposed, so in high winds the ferries must travel up the river to Gunrock to dock.